I forgot to tell you about my day.
Oh, tell me about your day.
No, so I got to meet my prospective managers. So they like each have their own team of developers, and they were based on like what I said I was interested in, which is I'm interested in machine learning, data science, and APIs. And so I met 3 people. The options I had, they were like, rate them 1 through 3. They were all very kind. It all seemed like a lot of fun. I think I would be happy on any of the teams. But my options were like, my first one was building a program that bankers use, like an application that bankers use to verify that people that are going in to put bank accounts in someone else's name has the authority to do that. So like a power of attorney or something like that. Right. So like this, like very, very important thing. Like, so you're going to build that application. Right. And then the other one was essentially build Chase's Google. Ooh. They're building a search engine. Oh, that's cool. And that's a big machine learning one. Sure. So that one was a lot of fun. And that would have been machine learning. The other one was more of an API. One was machine learning. And then the other one was like, so we essentially log, audit, and send to the FBI every single tap that and any transaction that happens in Chase ever. Woo! So like whatever you're on your, so it's like, I don't know. And they all sounded like a lot of fun, which it sounds really nerdy. Like, oh, I get to audit and like, but like, so I got really excited again.
Love spreadsheets. So I understand. Yeah.
I was reminding myself of that. I always think of that part in Clueless where she's like, I divided them into 2 piles. Is that wrong? Where she's always like, so I divided them into 2 sections. And so she's always organizing things. That's me.
That's also me, but not with computer science stuff. Just life in general. Like, look at how clean this room is. And we even have like a baby coming. Mm-hmm. I'm proud of it. We just got this big thing over here.
Very nice.
I'm very happy about it. But
very nice.
A little bit about my day. I had a meltdown about Best Buy. So,
oh no, that sucks.
Is it pregnancy or is it like a legit thing? I can't tell anymore. I don't.
It's baby. It's probably pregnancy. Mm-hmm. I mean, like the thing probably made you mad to begin with, but like
it all came to a head, and I was just like, I was crying. And Winston came down. In case listeners don't know who that is, that's my son, and he's 9, and he was the sweetest little baby, and he was like, Mommy, it's okay. And he's like rubbing me. And I was just like, and I was making his dinner and I was just like throwing it around. It's like, oh Lord. Anyways, we've introduced ourselves this way. I'm Vivienne Vega.
I'm Betty LeRoux. Hi.
Hi. This is Revolution Rosies.
Revolution Rosies. It's 2 women talking about badass women that include ourselves.
Yeah. Whether having meltdowns or actually kicking ass.
You're kicking ass too. You're growing an entire human being. Give yourself
I am. And Winston saw it kick today.
Oh my gosh.
Hasn't kicked another hard one yet. So neither one of them have felt, but definitely saw it because I was dancing in the kitchen after the meltdown. This is just before this. And he was like, oh, I saw that one. I was like, I would hope so. That hurt. It was like so big.
Oh man. I remember just like sitting back and just watching my stomach be like, oh.
I know, it's like an alien. Crazy. She hasn't gotten to that point yet, but like that one was a big boy. Also, before we really get into it, I wanted to first tell you that I'm sorry I forgot yours, but I have it sitting right here. But I'm currently wearing this more
female headliner. Awesome.
From Babe Roar, which is also a very female-friendly company, I guess. I don't know what she would call that, but it's ran by Christine Horvath. And I don't know, what would you call it?
I just said like it's a brand.
It is like a brand, yeah. And I think she sells stuff too, but I'm not 100%. But I know that for a fact she's a comedian. And I just performed with her on Saturday. So.
Yes. And she is a delight. I've actually done a podcast with her. My first appearance on a podcast with Christine Horvath.
I think I remember that. Podcast. That was like right when we were starting this too, I think, right?
Right before we started it. Yeah.
I thought so. Okay. So I have
Was a delight.
I have one news story.
Okay.
Let me pull it up here. I mean, I know what it is. I just want to be sure I'm saying it right because I'm not an attorney. But R. Kelly was found guilty on all counts of his sex trafficking trial. So,
fuck yeah, he was.
Yeah. So that's
goodbye, motherfucker.
Of course, Bill Cosby says that R. Kelly got railroaded because, twerps stick together.
Right?
But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, good job. I mean, it sucks that they had to go through all of that and, talk about it. But
good job actually getting someone for something.
Now let's hope he actually stays, unlike Bill Cosby.
On news that I just saw today, I'm pretty sure that Britney Spears is officially free.
I know. I need to watch. I'm not like a huge Britney fan or anything by any means, but like I am really anxious to see that documentary now.
Yeah. I'm going to stand there's a lot of like growing up and realizing the way that we treated these women, like when they were like 16 and 17 and like in the mind, like,
yeah.
So I'm going to stand with her. I might not, I mean, like she's pretty cool, but
yeah, I mean, I'm totally on her side. It's just, I was always into Spice Girls, just not Britney. I think she was like a little after the time in which I cared anymore about it or something. I don't know. Or I was just way too far up JC Chazé's ass. I don't know. I can't tell anymore.
Who knows what I was doing at that time?
God, I love JC though. He was the bomb. Anyways, yeah, so Britney's kicking ass. R. Kelly is in jail and life is coming back to normal. Is it? I don't know. I want it to be. And I'm going to pretend in my mind it is because I'm terrified of giving birth in a hospital. And I'm sure that you know that fear.
Yes, I do. I got very lucky. I was extremely lucky. So I know that things are different for you now than they were for me then.
You were right at the beginning.
Right. Everything had just been shut down. Like, the hospital that I was in had not even had their first case yet.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Riverside hadn't had a case
That's
yet.
What I'm delivering.
So, Riverside is a delightful hospital and they will take very good care of you. That's
where I had my neck surgery. And it was like a hotel. I was like, I don't even feel like I'm on fame.
Everything's fine.
Before we get started, though, I do want to do our first ad.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Cool. So our very first ad, which is really weird because I'm doing two that are very similar, but it's like pick your poison kind of thing. So,
got it.
The first one is called Resin with Riley.
Go ahead.
What?
She's so cool.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? Am I not supposed to do this one?
No. Go ahead and do it. No, okay. It's so cool.
Yes. So it is done by the creator, Amanda Riley. She loves making resin art, anything from coasters to jewelry, and even preserving flowers, which I love all of those things.
And even cute little kitty cat stab you in the eyes.
Oh, with the knuckles?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I saw her at the Fourth Friday at Westerville, and her stuff is amazing. It's really cool. And yeah, she even has like for your keychain, the little kitty cat that you put your fingers through its eyes, and then you like use its. Yeah, so
I love it.
Even more badass.
Yeah. So get all of your gear, evidently, stabby and pretty. From Amanda. So you can currently find her only online, which is great for our national listeners. And you can find her through her Linktree, which is, it's a weird one. Follow me and I'll put it in the stuff too. It's https:// linktr.ee. So Linktree, but with the dot in between the tree, /Riley Creates. That's RILEYCREATES. So Linktree /Riley Creates.
Yeah.
What?
I was just going to say, we'll definitely have a link to her in our stuff. Her stuff is really awesome, though.
So cool. So cool. I did check out her Instagram after the conversation between you two. And I was like, oh my gosh. Same goes for the next one we're going to do. I literally, if I had all the money in the world, I'd be broke again because of all the stuff I want. Okay, let me see here. Because Resin with Riley is only sold via Instagram and Facebook at the moment, if you join any of those groups, you can DM her directly and mention the podcast to get 20% off of your first order. Hey, Riley, awesome, does that include us as well?
We do it too, Riley? That'd be great. Thanks. I'm going to get some kitty cat eyes for Christmas for, stocking stuff.
I want coasters
for every woman I know. I want, she's got some soap dishes that legitimately I've been using like handmade soaps from friends and stuff. And I'm just like, I need a soap dish so bad. Why didn't I get a soap dish when I was checking out Resin with Riley?
See, man, I have a soap dish, but it's like one of those boring, it's a boring one. It's boring. Yeah. It's just a normal
she's
soap
got
dish.
Gorgeous soap dishes.
One. Okay. So are we ready for the story?
I'm ready.
Okay. So I'm going to do somebody who's more modern.
Okay.
Has been in the news lately too. Gnats. Gnats are crazy in here. I'm not doing a podcast about gnats.
Gnats. I've not heard of her.
Cool.
I don't know
her. They're annoying. So I am doing Cassandra Peterson. Do you know who this is? Okay, you will.
I should. I was going to say I should.
Oh, you definitely will soon. Okay. I'm sure all the listeners are like, yes, you do. But it's not because of her real name. So I got my information from Wikipedia and people.com of all places. And also slight trigger warning, but it's incredibly brief. I'll pass by it and I will let you know before I say it.
Okay.
To all of our listeners. So Cassandra was born September 17th, 1951. So it was almost her birthday time when we recorded this. She was born in Manhattan, Kansas. And not much was said about her family life per se. But she was scalded over 35% of her body with boiling water. Don't know how that happened. Don't know if she did it. Don't know if she fell into something.
It just happened.
So it didn't spend much time on that, but she ended up spending 3 months in the hospital. And while she was there, this is where she began her love of horror and horror themed toys. So since this is our October episode, I wanted to get spooky. So I'm
so excited.
Okay. So the very first film she ever saw was House on Haunted Hill while she was in elementary school. And during her teens, you're going to start knowing here soon.
I think I know who you're doing, and I think it's the person I was planning on doing.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Keep going.
During her teens, she worked as a drag queen and a go-go dancer at a Colorado Springs gay bar. You know now? Mm-hmm. Okay. So immediately following graduation, she ended up driving to Las Vegas after seeing the now favorite movie starring Anne Margaret and Elvis called Viva Las Vegas. And she drove to Las Vegas and became a showgirl. So she got to finally live out that dream. She was a showgirl at the Dunes, which I've never been to Vegas, so I'm not sure where that is or if it's still around, but it sounds like it probably is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
They stay around forever, those dang things. Okay. Fun fact, while she was working there, she met and went on a date with Elvis.
What? She's like, you're in my favorite movie. We're going to go on a date now.
She's like super living the dream, except she was still very young, but that makes a lot of sense because
it's Elvis.
Right. But I kind of saw that in a smaller, a different light a little bit, because she said he was very kind. They didn't even do anything except play music together and sang together at the piano. But she said he did give her tons of notes about spirituality, astrology, and numerology, and gave her the best advice anyone has ever given, which that all shocked me because Elvis doesn't strike me as somebody who's into spirituality and numerology.
Right? Okay. Yeah.
So I was like, you okay, Cassandra? What's going on? He told her, quote, this is a quote. You don't have to stay here in Vegas. I'm sorry, I'll do it right.
That was really good. I don't even think I can lift one lip, like one side of my lip.
You don't have to stay here in Vegas. It's not a good place for a young girl. He told her she had a nice voice and that she should go on to do something else. He was like, why don't you do some vocal training and just get out of here? Go be a movie star or something. And in the early 70s, so after she had met him, she ended up moving to Italy, where she was the lead singer of 2 Italian rock bands, such as the Latins 80 and the Snails. So she was kind of like an early Italian punk rocker girl.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Which I would have killed to see this happen. I would have killed. And she began making small appearances in films such as Roma in 1972, Diamonds Are Forever, the James Bond film in 1971, and as a topless dancer in Working Girls in 1974.
Oh.
Yeah, she was like all over. She's like, you know what, Elvis? You're fucking right. Let me take
this then
and be a movie star. The 70s. They always had titties in movies.
Oh, yeah. All over the place.
Always.
All over the place.
So when she came back to the U.S., she began touring nightclubs with her comedy and musical act called Mama's Boys. I love her. Like, the more I read, I was like, every sentence I'm writing out here is so good.
It's awesome.
I know. It's just like...
It's such a life.
I know.
And you haven't even got that far.
No. Now, this next one, though, is the trigger warning. So listener beware, but like I said, it'll be moderately brief. Unfortunately, in the 1970s also, one of her close friends was Wilt Chamberlain, and the basketball player, which I don't know much about him, but I guess I know the name. So, but she was close friends with him, and he invited her over because he had just had a custom closet built. And he's like, you want to see my custom closet? And she's like, well, sure, whatever. While she was over there, though, he did sexually assault her by forcing her to perform oral sex. Yeah. She said she blamed herself for years and years until the Me Too movement actually gave her pause and made her realize she was not at fault at all for this, even if he was a close personal friend.
Right. So that makes it even worse.
I know. Well, and that's what she said. She was like, it felt gross and it felt weird that like somebody that I was close to have done something like this to me. But yeah, so that's it. That's it. The whole rest of the story is just fine. But this was recently released out in the news, and that's why there's another thing that's out in the news too. And another thing that's out. I'll tell you about this.
All sorts of stuff. Just all over the place.
Just hang with me, okay? So she became a member, though, of the LA-based improv troupe called the Groundlings, which is like super huge. It's like basically like Second City, that like had this TV show SCTV in Canada. A lot of the Second City people went on to SNL, just all of that stuff. But in LA, it was called the Groundlings. And that's where she created a Valley Girl type character that would talk like this. And this would eventually become a large part of her most famous character. Elvira is who we're talking about. We're talking
like,
about
if you haven't figured it out yet, it's Elvira.
In case you didn't know.
It's so funny because when I was like, maybe we can dress up as our characters. That's what I was talking about.
That's not who I'm talking about at the next show. So
I know.
You can do her. It's fine. And you can be like, hey, listen to her last episode.
I'm dressed up as her. It's fun.
Surprise. But I didn't do her. I know. And I have black hair, so it would have been good, but I'd be a pregnant one. Okay. So, after this fact, we'll go ahead and do our second ad, but I'll just tell you this one here because it's just kind of a passerby one. In 1981, she got married to Mark Pearson, who actually ended up becoming her personal manager, and helped her write the first film. And also like tried to help her write a second one, but it's fine. And they also had one daughter named Sadie. But before we get to our next ad, there are two things I want to say. One, look at how cute these clippies are.
Those are super cute. You know what I'm wearing, right?
I do. Your little hands. I love them.
I love them so much. I wear them all the time.
I would too. I wear these now all the time.
They're very cute.
I got them from the show on Saturday at Fuzz Nails here in Columbus, and they sell them. These are also resin. I should have said.
Those are so fun.
Hey, resin. Second thing, we haven't promoted, but this will be released right before. So I feel like it's a good time. We have a live show if you're in Columbus at a all-female festival. Every performer there is a female. Every vendor there is a female. And it's going to be so much fun. It's a 2-day festival. And like I said, it's here in Columbus. It has several different venues, but we'll put the link in all of our stuff as well. It's called the She Burns Bright Femme as Fuck Festival, I think is what it's the full name. And we get to perform. We get to do a live podcast for a full hour.
That's so exciting.
I'm so excited.
You guys get to hear us talk out loud, 2 people for an hour.
Unedited.
We're so much fun live.
Screaming our faces off. But anyways, if you want to see us, we will be on October 9th. The festival is the 9th and the 10th. We are on the 9th, which is a Saturday, and we are going on Emily Noble's stage at 1 to 2 p.m. on October 9th. We're the very first act of that day on that stage, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, we get to open.
And right after us is Lydia Brownfield, who is also super wonderful. So now on to our ad. Sorry, that was a brief about us moment. Okay, and so this next one, you and I both met at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It is City Bones. That is the name of the company, and I'll tell you what they do here. City Bones is a combination of macrame and jewelry with animal bones incorporated. She's also now making wreaths.
Ooh,
oh my God, they're beautiful. All bones are responsibly sourced and cleaned by the creator. She said, when I was a kid, I started having my version of a burial service for any deceased animals I had found. I did this as a way to honor the life they had. And in my little child brain, I felt I was showing them that I had loved and cared for them. Over the years, I started incorporating them into my art as a way to appreciate and honor them in a new way. And now I want others to appreciate their beauty as much as I do. And I do. Trust me. I'm telling you.
They're gorgeous. I mean, it's really beautiful stuff.
I had to personally go message her and say, I just want you to know the aesthetic of your Instagram is perfect. Perfect. It's all clean white, and the pictures that she takes of her stuff, magnificent. It's so beautiful. She can be found on Instagram, like I had said, at city_bones. That's CITY_BONES, or on Etsy at City Bones Crafts. All one word. City Bones Crafts. And listeners, you get a special offer. Use code ROSIEREV10 for 10% off of your online purchase. So that's ROSIEREV 10, the number 10 for 10% off.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Do we get that discount?
I know. Again, this goes for you. Do we all get this? Because that wreath that she just posted. Oof. She's also now doing macrame planters, which we could both use because we both have too many plants.
I got so many plants.
Now we can hang them.
Hang them up plants because I got so many plants.
So many. What is happening to us?
I don't know. But I'm sorry if you're hearing a baby cry.
Uh-oh.
She woke up. I heard Daddy go get her. She just woke up.
Do we need to pause?
No, Daddy's going to put her back down.
Okay. A bit of a backstory on, we're back to Cassandra, by the way.
We're back to Elvira.
That's right. So a bit of a backstory here as to where Elvira even came from. Okay. Because she started out as like a valley girl with red hair. Like it wasn't like, and she did love horror, don't get me wrong, but that wasn't the character she had created for herself.
Right.
So there was an LA horror show called Friday Night. Nope. It's called Fright Night, like the movie, because that's what the movie
Friday Night.
Have you ever seen that movie?
Fright Night? I have not.
It's so 80s good. I love it. I'm obsessed. But anyways, put it on your list.
On my list.
The one of the guys in that movie is based off of the next person I'm about to tell you. So it was hosted by Larry Vincent, who went by his stage name Sinister Seymour. And after 6 years of the show, he had died. So he had hosted the show for 6 years and then he died. They wanted to keep the horror show going because it was very popular at that time,
right.
Early 80s, I would say. I didn't write down that. Yeah. So it was 81 when he died. So after that, they had asked the 1950s horror queen, Mayla Nurmi. Do you know who that is?
Mayla Nurmi is Vampira.
Yes, it is.
Vampira. Of course I know.
That was my, I wasn't sure because Cassandra Peterson was a name you didn't know. And I know. Sure.
It was one of those things where I was like, I should know this
normal plain name that you wouldn't. But Mayla Nurmi sounds straight up like a horror goddess.
Yeah.
They wanted her to take over that spot and call it the Vampira Show.
I'm gonna write down the name Mayla for their next daughter.
It's Maila.
Maila.
Uh-huh.
Just so you know.
I was almost going to do Theda Bara, who also has a great name. Her name was Theodora. And I think that is just great. But anyways, Mayla actually wanted this woman named Lola Falana. Oh my gosh, Lola. Okay, let me just tell you. Lola Falana would have been a very, very hot Vampira, just so you know. But she wanted this Lola Falana to play Vampira in the show. She didn't want to do it.
She was like, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this anymore.
I've had my time. Let's let Lola Falana take over. And I'll post a picture of her too, because stunning. But the producers pushed back and they were like, if we can't have you playing her, basically like, what's the point? So this was after a couple recordings even. She was like, I don't want to do it anymore. It's like, you can't switch in the middle, Mayla. Yeah, crazy.
You can't just like, well, I mean, like they did a lot in the 90s, but like the sitcom switch, like Rebecca from Roseanne.
Yeah. What? But they were like, we can't, that's no. And she was like, well, fine, then I quit. So she quit the show. But in 1981, later that year, the producers put out a casting call for the open slot. And that's when Cassandra was like, oh, what? Like I could be a host of a horror show? Like, please sign me up. So she went, and that is when she premiered her punk rock goth queen that literally rocked the world. Like anybody you ask around that time who had public access or anything was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. She was my first crush for sure.
Oh God. I had, Becky had bought this, like, you know, like the cheap generic Halloween costumes. And she had bought like a Mistress of the Night Halloween costume or whatever. And it had this like black collar that like came on this belt. And you can actually still find a very similar costume. I wanted to buy it. I, as a child, took that costume and would wear it as often as possible. I think I wore it like 2 or 3 Halloweens. I have a picture of myself in it. I would pop the collar up instead of like wear it down over your shoulder. I had it popped up.
Yeah.
Oh, I will send it to you. I was obsessed, and my mom hated that I was obsessed. Sorry. I'm muting myself on and off because she's melting down.
Poor sweetie. I'm sorry. So anyways, she said that when they say life begins at 30, they are not kidding, because of course, at the age of 30, she ended up getting the part. And that was like her first major thing. She's been in acting this whole time. And
that was like her first like big thing.
Yeah.
And it
wasn't quite big yet, but it eventually became big. And then she was like, wow, my life really did begin at 30. Like, holy shit. Because she can live off that now. That's her image. Nobody, like, you know who that is.
To this day, to this day, I mean, like, you can hire her to do anything, and it's,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now she had to come up with the perfect look and attitude. So when she went to the audition, she didn't have Elvira ready yet. She just went in with like her pitch and like her audition, and that was it. She didn't have like a look yet.
So did she like go in, you think she went in with like, okay, so I'm going to be this like vampy gothic queen, and it's going to be.
I'll tell you how she went in.
Oh,
I wrote it down. Yeah.
Ready for this. Okay.
Okay. So she thought that the perfect look was based on Sharon Tate's character in The Fearless Vampire Killers, which I'll post a picture of that too.
Okay.
But the look was rejected by the producers, which is funny because they gave her full creative power. So, but that wasn't good enough. Whatever. But she was discussing it with her best friend, and he suggested going for a more sexy punk kind of vampire lady. And he was like, that's what's really hot right now. It's the end of the punk era. You know, Susie and the Banshees are like, blowing up. Do that look. And so she did. So she started wearing the black get up with the big black hair and, bright red lips. And that was her thing. But Nermi, here comes Nermi again, old Mela. She sent a cease and desist letter to the producer saying that Elvira leaned way too close to her format and to her costuming. Which, did she do that to Morticia? Did she do that to like all the other like? Right. So
Morticia came out before her, and like, didn't Morticia come out before Vampira?
Yeah, Mela specifically said she got her look from Morticia. So what?
So you have right over Morticia's look?
Right. Well, don't worry about it, because the court eventually ended up ruling in favor of Cassandra after she made the argument that Elvira and Vampira are only similar because of the basic design and the black dress and hair.
Yeah.
Like the basic set design. And, because it was just like a couch.
Because everything else is completely different.
Yeah.
Like Vampira's a completely different character.
Yeah.
Acts completely different.
Yes. Yeah. I think that she had unfortunately had her time, and she was upset that, her time got taken.
Well, she had chosen the person that she wanted to pass the torch on to, and they decided not to use the person that she decided she wanted to pass her torch on to.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, it could be crazy, but if somebody were to be like, I want to be like you, I want to do what you do and do it well, I'd be like, sweet, freaking go for it. But we're all different, I guess. So anyways, with her tight clothes and her sarcastic wit, she gained quick popularity by placing her on public access channels across America. So that's when Casey got to see her, which was a terrible time because he was like 11, 12. He's like, yeah. And I'm sure that's what a lot of boys and girls totally.
Oh, yeah.
Girls wanted to be her. Boys wanted to be with her.
Girls wanted to be with her. It's like a lot of girls were like, oh, wait, I'm gay.
Yeah. It's like, this is awakening something in me I didn't know I had.
Yeah.
But they placed her on late at night, and churches everywhere frickin' went nuts.
Of course they did.
I didn't write much about that, but they tried to get her banned everywhere.
And she was a Satanist and...
Oh, yeah, devil worshiper.
80s. It was the 80s. Come on. They were terrified.
Making our kids go crazy. It's like, yeah, you probably are too. And so is your husband. Shut your mouth. Because of her quick rise to fame, she became a brand. So in the 80s and 90s, there were Halloween costumes, like you had mentioned, comic books, trading cards, pinball machines, and action figures.
Imagine.
I know.
It's a dream.
I know. Could you? I couldn't. But she began hosting a new show called Thriller Video, which is what I'm more familiar with. I'm more familiar with this one than any others. This is where she would talk about campy horror films after they played and have commentary during the film as well. So it's kind of like,
wasn't it like a pop-up? I was gonna say, wasn't it like a pop-up video almost where like her head would pop up and she'd be like,
yes. And then she,
you say that you've got a big one back, but
yeah, it's like, whoa, who are you trying to fool with those pants? Or like something, like that. But she made them a little less scary, but she also wasn't able to show the really gory films because this was still on public access. So she always chose the more campy, silly horror films, which made it even better for her, because she was campy. And that's what she, always will be, but in the best way possible.
So good.
So in 1985, she made an appearance with her friend Paul Rubens. They met during the Groundlings days in his big hit movie, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. She was not playing Elvira. She was playing a different character altogether. But, it was kind of showing like, hey, I'm not just Elvira. Like I am actually other people. I am still fucking.
She wasn't his love interest in that, was she?
No.
Didn't he have a...
Yeah, but I don't think that was her.
I can't remember. I haven't watched it in so long. I have to watch it.
Gosh, I know. I want to watch his Halloween special soon.
I watch his Christmas special every year.
I do too. I love it. I watch all of his specials because I love him. That was that was our childhood.
That was our childhood. I loved him so much.
Okay. But because of everyone going berserk over her, she got to release her first feature film in 1988 called Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
Mm-hmm.
That's her big break, really. That was her big break.
That is how I learned how to twirl tassels.
That scene.
I actually watched it and rewatched it and figured out how she did. That's how I got my national tassel twirling.
Yes. You got Elvira titties.
Mm-hmm. She's the one who taught me.
I love it. I love that scene. And it's so perfect for burlesque dancers right now to be talking about her for a women's podcast.
It's amazing. But no, seriously, she has such a influence on me. Oh yeah. God, me too. She's my background in my computer right now. Love it.
So in 1996, I know I skipped ahead quite a bit, but not much happened in between that time. But sorry. There was 3 Elvira novels that are only available now in e-reader format, but they were called Transylvania 90210, Camp Vamp, and The Boy Who Cried Werewolf. So if you want to check those out, those came out in 96. So she had.
And they're on e-reader. I wonder if I can get them from my Kindle.
I'm sure. But there were now novels about her. There were costumes, pinball machines, action figures, you name it.
I love the pinball machine. Elvira's pinball machine is probably the best pinball machine ever.
I mean, honestly, what else are you going to give us?
It's so good. The Simpsons one isn't bad, but the Elvira one is my favorite.
The Simpsons. So I don't know. I don't care. But
Elvira's pinball machine is baller.
With very little budget for the film, I should have put this. Oh, wait, no. This makes sense. I was like, wait, what? What am I doing? With very little budget for the film and barely enough for promotions and a release, her husband and Cassandra wrote a new film called Elvira's Haunted Hills in 2002. The movie was shot in Romania and was screened for the first time at an AIDS charity fundraiser that went all around the US. So she did get a national release, but it was at an AIDS fundraiser. So, which I thought was wild because I was
and I didn't even know about that one. I don't feel like.
No, well, there's good reason for it, but it eventually went to the Cannes Film Festival. So It did get to go there, but it wasn't Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
Right.
So anyways, in 2016, we're nearing the end, obviously, because it's almost that time, which is crazy. 2016, Cassandra released a coffin table book, which I think is adorable.
That is adorable. I love her.
I know. Well, you'll want this book for sure. It's a photographic retrospective of 35 years as Elvira. So get it.
Sounds like I need it.
Yeah. You need this coffin table book. And she's currently still working on an Elvira sequel, like a proper Mistress of the Dark sequel. She is 70 years old and she can still look amazing in that costume.
Oh my God. So good. Like just like she is undead, right?
For real. Like how is she 70?
Yeah, I don't know. There's the other thing too, where I've been thinking about the Elvira look in the Elvira costume, and it has fit perfectly in this like perfect goth bubble where it's never looked dated.
Nope.
It's perfect. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. Yeah. And she still looks so good in it. Like when I read that she was 70 while doing this research, my jaw went. She was
and that's the thing. It's like
year. I'm sorry.
You even said the 50s, and it didn't hit me.
No, absolutely not. So just recently, as of September 21st, she released her memoir called "Yours Cruelly, Elvira: Memoirs of a Mistress of the Dark," and I want to read it.
I love all of her like puns. Ugh, I know. So good.
I know. And I can just imagine reading it in her voice, like, oh my God. But in this memoir, she finally tells the world that directly after separating from her husband, she began a relationship with Teresa T. Weirson, and they have been together for 19 years. So she finally told the world she's bisexual.
I'm sad that I guess she just has never been in the public eye in a way that maybe it was important.
Well, it's funny you say that, but she says she mentioned that she felt like a hypocrite for telling her viewers to be true to themselves while she was hiding the secret for as long as she had.
I know. That hurts my heart.
I know.
Like, honey, you're a gay icon.
I know. Like, why are you
scared? What are you scared of? You're a gay icon.
It takes everybody their own time.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, it's no one's job to tell someone when it's the right time to come out. So,
right. Yep. And she, she was always there with those folks. And she was just like, I know what I like, but will everybody be okay with what I like? Or, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with like her sex symbol status.
I think maybe a little. Yeah.
And there's this
but now she just expanded the whole.
No.
It's like, cool. Now women can be like, yeah, I never have a chance with this woman, but I can pretend.
Like I was pretending before, but now
I know really that I could actually pretend. But so we're nearing the end, but still to this day, she rocks her Elvira costume at cons and she speaks at events. She has a killer voice, killer sense of style, and amazing comedic timing. Because of all of these things, she has appeared at the Grammys. She's appeared on SNL, the show Face Off, the makeup show, Halloween Wars, and RuPaul's Drag Race.
I've seen the RuPaul episode too.
I don't watch that show, but I think I've seen the Face Off one because I do love Face Off.
I need to find a way to watch Face Off because I do love that. I just could never find it.
I know. It was on Hulu for a long time and then they took it off.
I never had Hulu.
You never had Hulu?
I mean, yeah, we've had it once or twice when like somebody would give us the password, but like I've just never really had Hulu. I need to have it because I need to watch Only Murders.
Oh my God, in the Building.
Yeah, I need to watch that really bad.
Oh my God, it's so good. Okay, I have one last thing to say.
Sorry.
You're fine. Just one last thing. She often speaks of celebrities she has met, including folks like Frank Sinatra and Jimi Hendrix, and not ever getting starstruck. But she said that one day she met Vincent Price and she met her childhood hero and she freaked out.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. Because like she freaking dated Elvis. Like
she went on a date with Elvis.
Yeah.
Can you imagine though? I'm just like thinking about it. And like she's been a huge iconic star since the 80s. So just like the crossing of, because like the 80s was the very tail end of like old Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like you still had old Hollywood people that were living, and like so she's really got to expect it, like just the whole spectrum of Hollywood.
Yeah. Every
That's
bit.
So cool.
Because like because she was mentioning all these people she had met, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but like just Frank Sinatra and Vincent Price and like all of those people. But then she's freaking hung out with Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, it was like one of her best buddies. It's like she has such a good crossover. Yeah. But yeah, so that's Cassandra and Cassandra Peterson, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, whatever you know her as. I love her, and I love her even more after looking into her, and I can't wait to read her book. I think it's
she sounds amazing, and I do want to read her book. Like I said, she's had such, like, when it comes to women, I really like gravitated towards, and it makes sense that I would gravitate towards Elvira. I gravitated towards Peg Bundy. I gravitated towards. Listen,
if you have big hair, Betty will love you. It's just
if your hair was giant, your style was out, like was
if your
borderline tacky.
Out.
If your titties were out,
offended in any way by you.
If people called you loud, I would immediately be like, "Oh, you're my people."
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why we're friends.
Yeah,
with everything that was just said. My hair's not so big anymore. You still have the big hair, but my hair's black.
It is black.
Sometimes it's not black. Sometimes it's green. Who knows what you're gonna get with me?
Mine is berry.
My doctor, did I tell you this? I went to my 20-week appointment, and she was like, your hair is different. And because we have to wear masks, you can't really.
No, it's still me. It's still me, I swear.
Should I just keep the bangs forever so you know it's me?
You're like, oh yeah, that's a thing I do.
I literally said those exact words. Those exact words. Oh yeah, this is something I just do, so you'll get used to it.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. But so if you're in Columbus, come see us on October 9th at the Emily Noble stage, 1 to 2. It's near the Vanderelli Room. I don't exactly know where it is, but if you are in Columbus and you've been to the Vanderelli Room, it's near there. So
it should be a lot of fun, and we get an entire hour.
I know, and we get to talk about more amazing women. So there's going to be 3 episodes released this month.
No, it'll still just be the 2 per
Okay.
The first, so this one that you're listening to is
yours, and then we'll release the live episode November
or something like that.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. That is a wrap. That is my podcast about Cassandra Peterson.
And that is what I've done.
Oh, and she's staring at me. I got rid of my notes, and there she is, right there.
Yeah.
Staring at me with her titties.
Love it.
Anyways, do you have anything last to add?
I don't this week. I've just had crazy.
Good. Well, not good.
No, good crazy. Like I will say that after
what?
Oh, go ahead.
After what? Nope.
I was going to say, just like after my meetings today, I left the room and I was like, I'm excited again. I'm going to be a programmer. I'm going to be building applications that people will use in their everyday life.
Yes.
It's insane. I'm so excited.
You should be excited. That's amazing. I'm happy for you. I can't wait to hear what team you get on.
I know.
Last thing. I promise. To all of our listeners, please like, subscribe, and tell your friends, make comments on any of your podcast apps. We're on YouTube. We're on all the iTunes ones, and we are on Spotify and Stitcher. And I think that's it. But you can also find us at Facebook and Instagram at Revolution Rosies. Oh, and TikTok at Revolution Rosies. Got rid of Twitter. Well, I didn't really get rid of it. I just don't like it.
We just stopped.
But if you want to email us, any suggestions that you think we should talk about, please email them to revolutionrosies@gmail.com. And especially if you have little TikToks you want me to do, little 60 seconds that you're like, I'd like to know about this person, please send them my way, because I've been really stressed with the baby stuff, and I'm sorry I haven't been making them, but I will again.
Don't worry about it. And also, we thank Electric Cult Circus for letting us use their intro and outro, which Vivienne Vega wrote and performs for our music for our intro and outro. And we want to thank Amanda Braskett for our logo.
Where's she at?
Oh, she's on Twitter and stuff, but
I don't know. We'll put that information too if you want.
Yeah. Where's she at? I don't know. I think she lives in Ohio.
No, she's next door. And the show was written and produced by us, Betty and Vivienne.
Yeah, we're trying to be more professional. We'll get there one day.
It's so long. We should pre-record this.
I think maybe one time we just sit down and we're like, okay, what are all the things we want to say?
So if we forgot anything, who cares? This isn't your podcast.
Yeah, deal with that. Email us
if you got a problem. And we love getting emails. It's like letters. And I love getting a problem.
I'll solve it.
Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it. Oh, and check out our ads too. City Bones and Resin by Riley. All great stuff. And we love you so much. Keep listening. Keep telling your friends about us. And smear lipstick.
And raise hell.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.